Hello and welcome to the Listening Post's unboxing channel on YouTube. Today I'm unboxing ELAC's brand new Debut 3 series bookshelf speaker. The Debut 6.3 bookshelf. So the DB, D for debut, B for bookshelf, 6 implying the size of the driver, which is about 6.5 inch, and 3 for their version 3. The Debut range and the Debut 2s were acclaimed worldwide. Loved by everyone, brilliant budget speaker, very, very cool. The 3s are astronomically better, and you will see that. Nevertheless, packaging for ELAC in this price point, pretty straightforward. ELAC logo, Debut 3. The Debut 3 logo is ever so slightly evolved. We've got basic boring information on one side associated with the serial numbers, packaging, freight information, all of those types of things. A line drawing of the speaker itself, and then an emulation of exactly the same serial number information on the other side. Opening these speakers is really, really straightforward. It's a simple enough process as far as slicing the packing tape, and then opening the box to reveal the elaborate packaging that they've utilised to ensure that these get to you in one piece. Tilting it over, the easiest process, wow that is loud, is to lift the box off the speaker and get rid of it, and then concentrate on the rest later. Now there's a couple of grills, they're just sort of facing me, so I'll pull them both off for one moment. We've got obviously formed polystyrene, even taking into account the rear port and the grills. In the middle between the speakers we've got a whole bunch of desiccant bags and other things like that to keep them moisture free in transit. And ELAC Debut 3 comprehensive user manual. Now this goes through the whole range, including the centre speaker, everything, okay? And in it there are some 3M foam feet to ensure that if these are sitting on a bookshelf they won't scratch. Because these are identical, we're going to sit one of them off to one side along with one of the grills and lift the last one out of the polystyrene. Okay. We'll scoot that off to one side and pause for a moment looking at the grill. The grill is new, it's a new look I guess. They're using a different way of supporting the grill material with a honeycomb design, and then they've gone with a dark grey finish rather than the black from the contemporary or previous models. They're magnetic this time rather than the previous ones which had a classic sort of bung, and the magnets are protected with a little bit of felt to ensure that they don't chatter and that there's going to be no opportunity for them to scratch on the speaker itself. What we see that's kind of cool, and we'll drill into this and please hang around for all the photographs, is this lovely little notch. This is a lovely design element to these with the logo, which we'll see in a moment. Getting these open is relatively straightforward. I mean, it's just a simple piece of sellotape. The speaker itself is protected in transit by a poly paper bag, and getting that bag off is very, very easy. Open the bottom, carefully turn it over, and then lift and discard the rest. So at first glance you'll see an amazing design element that they've introduced, and it's this new tweeter cover or protection. The speakers now feature a 1-inch titanium dome tweeter. It's a departure from the previous models, and it's lifted the performance in detail. They're managing the disbursement with not only that protective thing, but also this sort of formed shape to ensure that the tweeter is both time aligned and disperses brilliantly into the room. Given that these are the 6.3s, the 6.5 inch or larger drive unit compared with the 5.3s is very obvious. The frequency response of these is now down to 42 Hz, which is stunning for a bookshelf speaker. Again, the disbursement of that waveform into the room is managed with all sorts of elements that they've added to give the speaker an elegance, but also help manage the disbursement of the mid-bass driver. There's an ELAC logo centrally located, and it sort of wraps around in a beautiful little design. And again, the grille sits beautifully over it, extending that sort of design element. Now the speakers themselves are quite weighty, sort of 7-8 kilos. They're quite deep as well. These are not going to sit particularly on some little skinny shelf. These are performance-driven speakers, and they deliver that in spades. So they're not going to be tight and short. They're going to be deep, and with that manage the bass requirements and airflow associated with the cabinet. In fact, the cabinet, by the way, it's something like 16 mils of MDF. That's unheard of in a speaker of this price. It's brilliant to see that ELAC have not scrimped. Despite the budget nature, they haven't scrimped on any of the things associated with their performance. Looking at the back, we see quite an oversized port. Because of the frequency response of the speaker, and again it gets down to, you know, that sort of low 40s as far as the frequency response, we end up with it needing to move a lot of air. So ELAC have invested a significant amount of time and energy developing the port to ensure it cannot chuff. And despite it being a rear port, will accommodate a location close to a wall, certainly better than most. Nevertheless, beneath that port we see a traditional 5-way binding post. 2 connections, clearly labelled negative and positive, and coloured with a red and black ring. Beneath it we've got the ELAC logo, an emulation of the model being the Debut 3, and then the emulation of the serial number as well. So there we have it. ELAC's amazing, brand new version 3 Debut bookshelf speakers, unboxed here at the Listening Post in Christchurch, New Zealand. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more, subscribe to our channel.